Well, everybody, all my CBD oil friends and family on the YouTube, um, I've got some special guests today. And so just a little bit of a backstory. My friend Donnell is the one I was talking to you guys about previously. She worked at a company that did like little powdery health drinks and stuff. So did these two people here you see on the screen. That's Kristen and Travis, correct?
That's right.
Hi, guys.
All right.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yep. So anyways, they've kind of switched gears, Donnell and them as well, but they have an interesting backstory. You know, you guys know my story. I've talked it a million times. I fought the banks, the bank, I should say. Actually, more than once. Credit card, the JP Morgan thing I told you guys about. The other bank with my mortgage. Fought the credit rating agency because they made a deal with me, and then they said, we'll give you basically like a cash for keys. We'll give you cash. Stop fighting us. We won't come after you for a default or deficiency judgment. Just you go your way, we go ours. You pay your bills, I pay lawyers, and we're out of here. All right, that's fine. So we left, and then they didn't follow the settlement agreement, which was they would foreclose and finish it off. Well, they sold the loan to somebody instead. They start hitting my credit score. So they're double dipping on my credit score. I'm like, oh, hell no. So I sent a letter, certified mail, and they respond, and I'm like, this is not my debt. Here's the case number that, the bank could give you to their lawyer or whatever. And this is out of my hands now. I'm just letting you know, like, you're hitting my score, and you don't have the right to do that. So I said, prove that you own this. Prove that you own this, that I owe this debt to you. So they said they would reply back, here's the documents you request. It was nothing but a cover letter. No documents. So I said, look, I've sent a certified letter. I've done my part. I'm just going to back off. So a few months later, they're still hitting my credit score every month as if a delinquent payment. So at that point, I contact the credit rating agencies, and I copy, screenshot everything, documents I had, the agreement I had, send it off in the mail, again, certified. They send me a letter back within a week. We're looking into this. Okay. Another week or two goes by. I get another letter. We've looked into this, and we don't see anything in your credit score. I'm like, I sent you everything. Don't even try that. So I log in, and they were right. There's nothing there. They wiped it clean. So I all of a sudden 760 something, 80 credit score. Nothing. Not the first bank. Not the second bank. It's just beautiful. I'm like, oh my god. So I was kind of told you a little bit a minute ago. I was in this one cryptocurrency. It was called Veritasium. It's like Bitcoin, just a different one. I got in this thing at like $6. In 3 weeks, all this is happening. My credit score is cleaned off. This house that I sent was a joke to my wife. Like, maybe one day we could afford this if cryptos do real well. They're lowering the price like 20,000, another 40,000. Like, whoa. And then the credit's clean. All of a sudden, this crypto I'm in goes up to $120 a piece. I had $6 each. I had about 900 of them.
That's insane.
Anyway, so I was like, Evelyn, you want to try this? She's like, let's do it, because I'm like, I don't know if they'll put that back on my credit score. Let's get it while we can. They never did, by the way. It wiped clean. They went away, and that was it. And it was an awesome story, I'm just an average guy. I'm not, anything special. Kind of like you guys, from what I understand, your background. So maybe first of all, just so everybody knows, these guys, I say guys, whatever, this husband and wife duo, they are pretty high-level performers in this particular company. We talk about HempWorks or whatever. But they have an interesting backstory because it's like, you see the sign behind them, pray and worship always and never give up. See, when I've fought the bank, I did not give up. I never caved. I kept going. And it resulted in me walking away with a small 5-figure amount and then saying, all right, fine, take the house back now. And then ultimately getting it wiped off my credit score. Like, don't give up. Keep fighting for what's right. They destroyed the housing value on us with these, the banks did this to us.
Yeah.
And then they got bailed out. And I keep telling everybody, why didn't they just give us the money? We would have paid off the debt. The banks would have got the money anyways.
Yeah.
That's right.
So it's just, you look at this stuff, you research it, and you realize, what the hell's going on. It's like, I'm not going to just take it lying down. I got to fight, So you guys have an interesting backstory. You said, 24 months ago and all that. Why don't you just kind of, open your heart up a little bit and tell people.
Yes, I would love to share where we come from. I feel like we should be the poster children for never give up. So Travis and I met our senior year of high school, and we got married as soon as I graduated.
That's right.
And We are entrepreneurs. We started our own business at 18, and we have always been in business together. And probably around the same time as you, 2007-ish, our world exploded around us. We were doing high-end commercial landscaping and residential landscaping, design build projects in around the beach area in Maryland and Delaware. So a lot of people from like DC, like their vacation homes, all of that. So when this housing bubble collapsed, no one is doing high-end landscaping anymore. Like,
not at all.
Our business went from doing over $1 million a year. The very next year, it did 80,000. That is the dramatic drop that it just took. And we lost everything. You know, we were young. We were early 20s at that point. So we weren't really like saving. We were just, you know, living our best life.
Yeah.
And, you know, just never expected anything bad to happen. We're like, we can just do this forever. And so we didn't make all the best decisions, but we lost everything. We lost our commercial property, our residential property, all our vehicles, all our equipment, boats, four-wheelers, dirt bikes, like everything gone. And it happened so fast, just in a matter of months. And that was, you know, 2007, 2008 is when all that would happen. And we were just spiraling for a long time. And we decided that we were going to move to Florida because you can landscape year round in Florida. And at least in Maryland, it's cold and you can't work 5 months out of the year. I was like, at least we have a fighting chance down there. So we sold whatever bits of stuff we had left of value and just moved here. And we struggled really, really bad for the first year. And then we found network marketing. It was kind of crazy. Like, I was always anti-network marketing. I thought they were pyramid schemes, and I didn't know anyone that actually made money doing them. It just seemed something that you just bother all your friends and family for, and no one ever actually made money. So I was like totally against it. But I was at a point in my life where just an extra $200 a month would have actually made like a huge difference. So I was like, whatever, I really dig the product, so I'll just try it. And we had a lot of success there really fast. We started earning like 5 figures monthly within just a few months. And we really just, we drank the Kool-Aid and became believers in network marketing. And I was like, we just love that business. And that's also where we met Donnell. We became really good friends with her. And as quick as the success came, it also failed. So our business just rapidly declined also like a couple years later. And so we started our landscaping business back up. It was like early 2017. We're like, oh, let's just do this again. We need extra income. You know, network marketing is not paying the bills anymore. And so it was kind of like the end of a dream. I pretty much felt like I was never going to do this again. I couldn't emotionally go through the toll that it took on us again. So
we had network marketing PTSD for sure. It's a real thing. It is really
it is a real thing. Look it up. So actually, we started the landscaping and it took off so well. Like our first month, we profited like $40,000. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what God has for us. Like, forget this network marketing thing. We're landscapers again. Let's get behind this.
Until summer hit.
And and then I was like, wait, landscaping in Florida actually is really terrible and it sucks. And I feel like I'm going to die every day. I'm going to have a heat stroke and die.
So you're actually out there working yourself, like in the sun.
Both of us out there together, side by side, doing this thing. And you think I would be like in great shape, but it didn't work out that way. But then, this is crazy. So I just am becoming complacent with everything. You know, my network marketing dreams are over and I'm just accepting it. Even though inside of me, I feel like, man, I feel like I'm not living my purpose. Like, I just enjoy helping people and, you know, talking to my team and, you know, seeing life change for people. Like, average, ordinary people can't just turn around and say, oh, I'm going to start my landscaping business back up and we're going to make $40,000 next month. Like, the average person can't do that. And we were just super blessed that even happened for us because we had tried and tried for years and wasn't getting those results. And Hurricane Irma came, if you remember.
Yeah.
And it really shook my world. It made me realize, A, I'm not living my best life. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. that I can't have a business.
Was that the one that was like towards the end of last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we just moved into the house.
A little over a year ago.
Yeah, and I was like, oh crap. I was like, well, we don't actually close.
It ended up going your way.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I remember where we are into the time frame. Okay, so it was a little later in 2017.
Yeah, about 14 months ago is when this happened. And I realized I don't want a business that relies on the weather. Like, I want income no matter what's happening around me. And also the Home and Garden Show is our only source of advertising. And had the hurricane come a week sooner, that show would have been canceled and all of our advertising for 6 months gone. It just made me realize how fragile everything was. And I don't know, it was like a light switch went off in my head and I was like, you know what? We're going to find something to do. Travis was like, I'm going to find your company. Tell him what you were like searching.
Well, first I want to say, like, even a month prior to the hurricane, you know, I saw that Kristen wasn't her normal self. And I'm like, wait, what's going on? We're making enough money. Like, our bills are paid for the first time in 20 plus months. I'm like, we're sitting here and we're like, had been struggling to the point where we were even on food stamps at one point. And I'm like, man, I will never be broke again. Like, I wanted to claim that. Like, I will never be broke again. And I'm like, you know what? I need to take her out to dinner. I took her out to dinner and I'm just sitting there with her. And I'm like, look, you need to tell me what's going on, because I can see you're not like your best version of yourself. And all of a sudden in the restaurant, she breaks down crying. And I was like, and I look around and I'm like, okay, yeah, I started this. So now we got to figure out what's going on. And I realized it was, as we're talking through this, it was her not being able to pour into people. It was her not having those relationships to help people grow and build and their lives changing. And I was like, okay, we need to do something. And then that's when the hurricane happened. And it was like, okay,
just like a domino
this is
effect.
just like another confirmation.
Yep.
So I started searching after the hurricane. I'm like, where can we go? Like, what company is new? What company's viral? What has a great compensation plan? So I'm Google searching this, and I'm checking with other friends in the industry, and I'm looking at their compensation plans. And really, for a while, I found nothing. And I was like, there's nothing that excites me. Mm-hmm. And then I was reading one of my friends he's a trainer for network marketers. He does a lot of events, and he was talking about how he was going to speak at a convention for My Daily Choice. And I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. And he was like, it has the best compensation plan I've seen in years. You know, the company's debt free. It's viral. So I'm like, okay, I need to look this up. I pull up the compensation plan, and I'm going to be real. I was in the tub because, look, I was landscaping. I was taking an Epsom salt bath. Now, Kristen will say it was a bubble bath. Not true. Not true at all. It was an Epsom salt bath, but she can say what she wants. But it was a manly bath. And so I'm trying to I'm reading the compensation plan, and I'm getting more and more fired up because it had all the things that I disliked about my former company, that things that hurt our pay, that took us some months we would lose $4,000 to $6,000 because somebody in our network would advance. And I was like, I never wanted that to happen again. I wanted to be able to help our team grow. And even if they passed me, I wanted it to benefit us both.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
Yeah. And so I'm like, because our whole thing about our whole time, we've ever built in the network business, is we wanted our team to be successful, even more successful than us. And it hurt us in our last company. So when I found that, I jumped out of the tub. I didn't even grab a towel. I ran into Chris and I'm like, you got to see this. We're going to be rich. And she's like, wait, what are you doing crazy? And why are you not even dry? I'm like, because I'm too excited. And I'm like, you have
I've
to see
never
this.
seen him so fired up about something. And I was like, wait, what's the product? And he's like, well, who cares what the product is? So it's crazy. And then we go to Facebook and we find out that they have CBD. Mm-hmm. And at first I was like, pump the brakes.
Yeah, Kristen tried to pump the brakes, and I'm like, you don't understand. We're going to be really rich.
Okay, so I'm like, I'm going to get thrown out of church. Is this a drug? Is this illegal? Am I going to go to jail? I don't even understand.
She's freaking out, and I'm more excited.
I'm like, because I didn't understand what it was at that point. I'm thinking it's marijuana.
Right.
I just don't know. And so all I see are this leaf. And I'm like, I can't do that. But then I did my research. And if you just Google CBD, health benefits, you're going to be blown away.
It's mind-blowing.
I just couldn't believe all this stuff. And so I just, asked a few people, what do you think of CBD? What do you know about it? And everybody was like, oh my gosh, I've been looking for that for, whatever ailments. It was all different reasons. And they all said, I'll be your best customer. And I was like, wow, like there might be something to this. And I just couldn't escape the feeling that this is what we were meant to do. And I was like, oh, it made me so nervous, but I was like, we got to just give it a go. And I talked to Josh, who is our CEO, on the phone, and I just drilled him like about everything. Like, what is your vision for the company? Like, how can you afford to pay so much money? Like, where do you see us in 5 years as a company? Like, just about the industry in general. And he told us about our partnership with Gen Canna, which is our hemp farm, which is like the #1 farm in this country. They're pioneers in this industry, and that we white label products from them. And we're the only network marketing company that has an agreement with them. So just all of these things that he has in place. And he's also like a world champion chess player. So he's extremely smart. He's always thinking like 5 moves ahead of what's happening. He has set us like on a path, I feel like, where we're going to dominate the CBD market. And we already are the #1 company, and it's just going to keep growing. So I drilled him on all that. The products, I hadn't even tried the product, but I'm like, let's just do this. So
reading the testimonies did us
signed up because I'm like, if all of this, what I'm hearing, this unbiased research, and of course, any company can hire a doctor to say, oh, it's so wonderful. But this was like university studies I was seeing, like all this stuff that was unbiased, that was just telling like, this is the future, really. And I was like, I just want to be a part of this. So I signed up. He didn't even know. I was like, all right, I just did it. I pulled the Band-Aid off. Like, he was ready to go, but I was just like, I did it. Like, we're doing this. And this was September 22nd of last year.
Okay.
And I got my products in like a few days later. I used to suffer from pain because I was in a freak accident in the snow. That's also another reason why I moved to Florida, and shattered my femur. And a lot of complications, hypothermia from just being stuck out in the wilderness basically for hours. And then I got MRSA from the hospital after that. Like, it was just a bad situation. So I just had residual effects from that. Within 10 minutes, it was gone from taking it. And I was like, whoa. Then I was like, is this like a placebo thing? Am I like wanting this to happen? And I also have a lot of trouble sleeping. And that was the first time I slept through the night in years that night. And I was like, you can't fake sleeping through the night.
My wife had got some before me, and from HempWorks, and it was, I think, the 500 milligram peppermint, whatever. She's been having problems for a while sleeping. I mean, she sleeps okay, but she'd wake up 2 or 3 times during the night, you know, go pee, come back, whatever, roll over. And she's like, she's like, I now sleep through the whole night.
Yep.
But she's like, now I wake up at about 6:30 or so in the morning. My body's ready, like I'm ready to go. So she's like, I don't even want to go back to bed. I'm just waking up earlier, but I'm feel like I got a great night's sleep though.
You got a deeper sleep. That's
His mom has sleep apnea, so it like measures her restful sleep. And within just a couple of weeks of using it, she was registering an extra 2 hours of actual restful sleep during the same time frame. And it was really cool that she has that machine that will tell her, yes, you are sleeping 2 extra hours every night.
Yeah, so I've got people emailing me from my videos and stuff, you know, my subscribers, and they're like, you know, oh, I've got this case, you know, of whatever, or someone's got this. And so, I mean, I've got people telling me, oh, Joe, I've already been on, my dad's has, I don't know if it was Alzheimer's, it was something. And they're like, we've been taking CBD actually. He goes, you know, we've been taking it, you know, before you even mentioned it, Joe. He's like, but I can tell you the results are really good. And I'm like, wow. You know, I was like, for that? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But he's like, you know, I'd like to try your stuff. You know, I want to sign up with you. So I'm like, great, come on. You know, I'm telling people, like, talk about the most opportune time. You talk about, you know, MLM and all that, but it's like, okay, well, maybe you don't want to do it. Maybe you just want to buy the product.
Yeah.
You could be a customer, or you could do the affiliate thing or whatever. But it's like, I'm trying to, like, I see the vision. I don't know if everyone sees this, so I keep, like, talking about it. I'm like, guys, this is something that's now being legalized across the country. I think there's only 2 states, I think, in the U.S., Nebraska and something else maybe that can't have the...
Alabama.
Is it? Okay.
It's
coming, though, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be legalized. And it's like other countries are going to do it, too. We just saw what happened in Canada. So I know they're working on getting their stuff together with Canada so that they can join. But it's like, hello, like, this is a fairly new company. What is that stage called? Like the growth stage? Is there a name for that?
Oh,
they all have it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're like pre-momentum right now.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. We're actually pre-momentum. Like we have
hasn't even kicked in
the business, but like we haven't even seen a taste of what's coming. And that's what's mind blowing to me. You know, Kristen and I, we did about $2.5 million in sales for our team last month. And it's just mind blowing to me because in our former company that we took 5 years to build, our highest sales were like right around 150,000.
And you probably got in after the momentum phase.
Oh yeah.
Even started, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
that's not CBD. It's not something that
exactly.
Look, the powders are fine. They're healthy, great, you know, but it's like they're not doing stuff for some of these issues out there.
Yeah.
That CBD is
all ages with the CBD. Like everybody at all ages. It doesn't matter your background, you know, male,
even
female,
pets.
anything. Yeah, gender. Yeah, none of it matters. It's even across the board for animals. You know, we have tons of pet owners and pet shows that they come over and they're like, "Thank you so much. I've got my like dog back." And I'm like,
people care more about their pets than themselves sometimes.
Oh, I know. You're right. Yeah, my wife's my mother-in-law basically. She's one of those people that would just, you know, the dog's, you know, got maybe if you're lucky it'll live for 8 months. You know, it's like old. The dog's in bad shape. But I'm gonna go. You know, it needs back surgery and like Vanita, like, you know, let's be real here. You know, say, hey, you've been a good dog. You know, like, I love you, but you know,
because of our partnership with Gen Canna, we are part of the hemp research program. The 2014 Farm Bill allows us to legally ship to any state. So not all companies can do that. They're not compliant to do that, but we are. So that gives us a leg up too, just in the CBD industry as a whole of where our partnership is. And they're coming out with a certification that should come out like any minute now that will actually be like a standard. Like this oil meets these standards because, you know, you can buy crappy products out there that are full of junk and, you know, people think they're getting CBD, but now with this label, they'll know. And our oil already meets all of those standards. So it'll have that label on there. So we're just like all of these things. So if you could get started now, just imagine once all these things are implemented, you know, and CBD is really more of a household name because it's just right now that people are finding out about it. You turn on the news and you are hearing stories. You walk by the magazines at the checkout, you're going to see stuff about CBD and medical marijuana. Like it's everywhere.
Yeah, I walked into Barnes & Noble and there was like 18 magazines that were out for that month based on CBD. And I was like, this is insane. Yeah. I've never seen anything like it. The news is doing the work for us. Like we don't even have to like really do anything. People are just like, wait, I think I saw this on your Facebook, or I heard one of my friends say you had it. And I'm like, well, yeah. And they're like chasing you down. It's insane.
And for us, so we talked about our foreclosures. About 6 months ago, we went and tried. I was like, we're making good money now, like really good money. We're making about $50,000 a month. I was like, we should go get a house. Like, I'm ready. We've been renting for 10 years. Like, I'm ready for a house again. And we got turned down twice by 2 different mortgage lenders. They were like, you don't qualify for a loan at all. And I was like, man, how much money do you have to pay?
Because of the foreclosure on your record?
Not even that.
It was foreclosure and then just the fact that they were like, you're too new into this company.
Weren't making enough.
You don't have 2 years.
Yeah, you need like 2 years and all that crap. Yeah.
And I was like, well, don't you have these fancy loans where you could just show your bank statements?
Yeah, they're like, we don't do that no more. And I was like, and she got really upset. I was like, Kristen, we don't need a bank. Like, we are making enough money. We do not need a bank. And she was like, so we're going to qualify ourselves. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah. What's going to happen is she can call you, right? She'll call you and you pretend, you know, to give her a mortgage and
exactly. I'm like, hey, yeah, the money's in the bank, babe. We're good.
So yeah,
I think we can do it.
We bought a house. I didn't even know I wanted a house in Margaritaville, but we found one. They were being built here in Orlando, a big resort. And I was like, why not? Why not have a vacation house first? Because I was like, this is a limited time opportunity here. So we wrote a check for over $100,000 to put down. And when I get my next paycheck, that house will be completely paid for cash. Before we even move in it, it'll be completely paid for. And I'm like, this is just insane. And when I get our next paycheck, we will have made $1 million with My Daily Choice in just 13 months. So I'm like, we're just
it's not even in that phase yet.
No, we're just like
the growth
normal
phase.
College dropout. We were on food stamps 24 months ago, like just trying to survive, but we never gave up on
food
life.
Stamps to 24 months later made $1 million, and it's like I'm floored by it. But I think that what it is, it's like we might not be the best at network marketing, we might not be the best business runners, we're not the best in anything really, but we did have the dedication to keep getting back up and keep moving forward. And I think that was what's, we might have failed, but we never considered ourselves failures. And I think that's where like a lot of people, they get trapped in, they let their mind kind of get in the way and stop them of moving forward. They get held. And I think that's one of the things is like human beings we have to watch out for is when we're being stuck and we stay still, that's where we're trapped. And when we're trapped, we can't have better things happen to us. And it's like sometimes you also have to just let go of the good and go for the great. And although the landscaping was good at the time, we had to be willing to let go of that and take a risk to find the great. And I think that if you can do those things and be willing to push yourself a little bit past your comfort, you can find great things on the other side of that.
Well, I think the other thing that, you probably know this, but the fact that it's CBD that's being sold here, it's not just another thing. What MLM product. This is CBD that's being legalized. This is actually very healthy for people. There's issues out there that people are taking this stuff for. It's real. And again, I'm like trying to tell people this is new. Like this growth phase hasn't even really kicked in yet. Like, I mean, I know they told you, I think when you went to the conference, it was like by 2022, they're expecting like, how much? 22 billion or something?
Billion, yeah.
22 billion.
In 3 years from now.
And
like
our company is going to do, if I remember right, by looking at the numbers, about 100 million. Is that right?
The funny thing is it's new, but it's really not. Like our history in this country is founded on hemp. It used to be illegal not to grow hemp.
Yeah.
Our first flag was made out of hemp. Like this was a part of our country.
Yep.
And because of corporate greed and government,
big pharma,
they just were like, you know what? Hemp is, we have, this is paper products, things like that.
Clothing.
They're like,
it's the
big pharma,
industry.
all of that. They're like, we gotta nix this hemp.
Well, I think about this too. All right, so some of these powdered stuff, right? Like from the other companies. If you take it and you're like, oh, I like it. It's good, healthy. It's got vitamins. You're not exactly, to be fair, we're not exactly rushing to tell our friends and family, oh my God, like I took this stuff and, that's not happening. It's just like, hey, it's healthy, take some. Okay, great. This stuff is, you take this stuff and you got a freaking story to tell somebody.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I took this hemp oil and guess what? Or my mom or my grandma or whatever. And it's just going to spread like wildfire. So you guys kind of talked how you've seen some things that, like, this is your path in life. Like you recognize, okay, it's time to move. What's that?
I wish we could have an unfiltered discussion on the testimonies that we've had. Unfortunately,
FDA says you can't say that.
Yeah, they'd shut us down in a hot minute.
It makes me mad.
But if you research, like seriously, just Google CBD and whatever it is like that you're suffering from, you will find testimonies. Like that's what I tell people. Like, don't take my word for it. Take Google's word for it. Like, go find your own research and then come back to me because I can give you the purest, best quality product for the best price.
Here's what I'll say. If it didn't work, Big Pharma wouldn't be trying to figure out ways to make a fake version of it to sell people that's going to cost like $18,000 to $30,000 a year. So like, that's why they're creating it. That's why they're making synthetics. It's not because the synthetic's going to work better. It's like, are we going to sell you synthetic orange juice?
Right. I want the real thing. I want organic.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody wants organic, but they're just trying to figure out a way to get their foot in the door because the word is already out. People are already sharing what it's doing for them and they can't control it now. So if you can't control it, what do? You try to join it. And that's what they're trying to do, but it's not going to work.
Yeah. So that's amazing. So, I thought I heard recently that they got the 500 milligram, they got the 750, and they might be working on an even larger milligram. Is that right? Does that sound right?
Possibly.
The word is out that people have asked for something stronger, and corporate has said that they will try to do whatever they can to get it for us. Now
we have access to much, much higher,
like 100 times higher.
The crazy thing about CBD is sometimes less is more. You don't necessarily need more. I have some clients that they actually got better results when they reduced down from the 750 to the 500 or went from 10 drops to 5 drops. So the therapeutic value doesn't necessarily increase just because you go super high on milligrams.
Yeah. They found that the therapeutic value that works for most people is somewhere between the 500 and 750 range. Like 90+% of people seem to have the best results at those numbers. So anything more than that you're putting in your body's wasting and not utilizing. So you're basically paying more for a product that isn't necessary. So that's why we've set our limits pretty much between the 500 and 750 range. They may at some point come out with something stronger just because, you know, the market is competitive and people are coming out with ones, and basically the wrong information is being shared to people, and them having a lack of knowledge over what works the best is pushing the limits.
A lot of people are like, this is what I'm using now is a higher milligram, but they could be using like a CBD isolate, which you do need more if it's an isolate versus a full spectrum, because full spectrum uses, you know, all the different cannabinoids. So you're going to get, they call it the entourage effect, because you have so many different cannabinoids, it's going to be more effective for you.
And also, to even go off of that, what you just said about the isolate side of it, even if they claim it's a full spectrum, we're seeing that when you actually do the lab results of the third-party testing, there isn't actually 1,500 or 1,000 or whatever they're claiming their number is not even actually in there. And sometimes it has less than 100.
Or they don't have third-party testing.
Or they don't even have third-party testing. So you have to be really careful what company you're looking at buying your product from. It doesn't just go with the way that what's in the bottle. It also goes with the way it's actually made, you know, because a lot of companies, they'll use different like ethanol to extract the CBD from the plant, things like that. They're breaking it down with chemicals as opposed to CO2 extraction. And then they don't have a good dry lock system. So there's molds and pathogens in their oils, which are dangerous and harmful to your body. So you really, really have to do a lot of research to make sure you're getting a product that's not going to do more harm than good.
And HempWorks is doing it the right way, right? They're using the CO2 way of getting it extracted, and they're using the whole plant. And
that's right. So we do it all. We have a proprietary fresh dry lock system that keeps the molds and pathogens out. Unlike a lot of other companies, we actually have a lab that is separated from us that does the third-party testing, and you can go online to look up all those results for each batch. So that's really important. But we also don't just test for what's in the oil. We also test to make sure that bad things that we don't want in the oil aren't in there, as like the molds and pathogens, which other companies don't even test for. So it's really important that you had those testings to look at to make sure.
So if you had to guess, I mean, I know your last, you know, multi-level marketing, whatever, you know, you explained you kind of got in after the pump phase or whatever, but because it hasn't really kicked in yet, and we're talking about CBD, like, you know, it's being legalized. If you had to guess of how insane this is going to be, like, I mean, is it going to start next year, you think? Like, it's just going to freaking go?
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, legislation right now is, like, right there on the cusp where it can start being farmed in more states and things like that. So, I mean, it's just going to open up everywhere.
Yeah, the 2018, and I mean, it might be 2019 before they pass it, Farm Bill that they're working on. I mean, everybody, this is something that's really crazy, is this was one of the first by far bipartisan bills that the hemp side of it was a slam dunk. The only thing that was holding this bill up right now, and it might be passed by the time you watch this video, but the only thing that was holding it up was over the different kinds of, like, the food stamps and things like that that were being added to the bill that they were trying to get approved. So, but the hemp side of it was a slam dunk. Like, both parties wanted it. They want the farming. They want the CBD to be used for, like, people. And that was something else. They're protecting the CBD side of it even farther to greater depths in the new Farm Bill. So those are all big positive steps in the right direction. I can tell you that I think that personally, from what I've seen, we started at 0 13 months ago in sales, and we did $2.5 million 13 months later. And we're seeing a growth on our team and in our, like, reorders that I've never seen in any network marketing company in this industry in general. You know, my cousin, he has a vape shop in Maryland, and the bulk of his business has been moving towards the CBD side. So, like, everything is pointing to this is going to be one of the biggest things to ever come out in my lifetime. So
we're making history.
It could become the biggest MLM ever. I mean, you know, company.
We have companies now that are calling, trying to find out what we're doing, which is insane to us. And we've got people that are trying to buy the company because it's growing so fast. And look at Coke. Coke and and what's the other one that did
Corona.
it? Corona. Yeah, Coke and Corona have both bought like a version of bringing CBD to their product lines.
I thought I heard about that. Coca-Cola adding like a CBD Coke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coke's trying to add a CBD Coke, and Corona is trying to come out with a beer line with CBD in it. So like even these major companies are spending, and they're spending billions to get in this industry. So like to see those things, it just kind of tells you that all signs point to yes.
This is the future.
But you need to be in now. It's kind of, I mean, it's very much like, you know, Bitcoin or any of those. Like if you got in the very beginning side of it, you can get in for pennies on the dollar. But if you guys wait a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, you know,
when everybody's doing it,
the leverage of what you're going to be able to accomplish is going to be so much more small compared to what it could be. And I'd hate to see people miss out on that.
Yeah, I'm the same way. You know, I'm always looking at stuff like what can I do to earn a little extra income on the side or whatever, just because my brain's always moving, you know, gears are turning. But because I've got an audience and I don't just talk about news and things, I talk about like my personal life sometimes too. Like, hey guys, you know, and I just talk about something, but I'm like, you know, I got into cryptos and I mean, I'm not charging people for crypto, like to my advice or something. It's like, no, just, hey, here's what I'm doing. I'm getting into this coin. Here's why. And people start following me, and next thing you know, 2017's rolling around. We're all making a bunch of money, and I'm like, hey, we're all doing this. Like we're doing this together.
That's right.
There's plenty to go around. So I'm like we're saying here, this industry, they're saying in a few years, you know, well, I guess about 4 years now, $22 billion industry. I'll make a. I mean, it's my opinion, but I'll go ahead and say I guarantee, anyways.
Right.
It'll probably blow that number out of the water because I don't think anyone's going to see the kind of growth that's coming.
All the projections numbers that we've seen just in the 13 months we've been here have always gone higher. Every time a new report comes out, like from Forbes or whatever, it's always a higher number.
Higher than expected. Yeah. And I mean, what a wonderful thing to be able to tell somebody, hey, check this out. Maybe you want to get into this. Maybe you want to make some income on the side. They get into it. They start selling it. They're going to have people telling them, oh my God, I had this little issue, whatever. I took this stuff. You know, some great story. I mean, like I said, I'm getting emails from people that haven't taken any of it, but they've known about it and taken a different brand, and you know, it's CBD, whatever. It's worked for them. So they're like, oh, I'm glad you know. I had one today. They're like, I'm glad I saw your video this morning because I want to. You know, I was just thinking about this, and I'm like, oh, well, perfect. You know, good. the time to get in's now, but you know, I mean, and even if anyone's out there listening, well, I don't want to do MLM, fine, but this is the new thing. Like, do something with it. Do whatever you want to do something on the side, go for it. But you got to do something. This industry is about to go crazy, man.
Even just trying the product and sharing it with your friends is like enough. Like, I mean, just help us create a movement that moves forward. You know, that's what I typically ask most of my friends. Maybe they're still with other companies or whatever they're doing. I'm like, I'm not asking you to join me. I'm just asking you to take it and share your results with your friends. That's it. You can send them back to me. I appreciate that just as much.
You're going to come. I mean, they're going to come back because it's not some, you know, this stuff actually, you will see some results with some health issues. But again, it's just the best thing you could ever imagine being, you know, I think I may mention in my video the other day, and I was like, you know, imagine being a salesperson. I got to call and sell this stupid product, but I got to make my quota. And no one's usually happy about that. Like this, you're just selling some object or something. Like, I feel like we're selling health.
That's right. Absolutely.
You know, talk about a great phone call or, you know, sales pitch. Hey, I'm selling you health. You know, the government should love us because the healthcare costs and all that, it's going to go down. Yeah. It's really going to go down. You know, it's like, it's a win all the way around.
They're like, hey, I need to get that oil from you. When are you going to be home? Like, it's not something like, hey, are you sure you don't want this? They are like tracking me down.
I made a joke to one of my friends the other day. I'm like, you know how they give you discounts for like taking extra driving courses? You save on your insurance. I was like, healthcare eventually is going to be like, if you're using CBD, we're giving you a discount. Like, that's what I see coming at some point. I'm like, oh, do we get the CBD discount? Oh, great. Yes, I'd like to sign up for that.
Yes, you do. You just save $50.
Exactly. Exactly. See that coming at some point.
Cool. All right, well, I don't want to keep you guys too long. Was there anything else maybe you felt like you don't need to mention or talk about, or think we about covered it?
We covered it. I mean, just at least try the product.
Yeah.
I mean, I have people that are like, I don't even think I need it, but they see the business opportunity. They're like, I'll just, you know, I want to get in. They're like, but I don't know that I have a use for it. Like, I don't suffer from stuff. And then they start taking it. They're like, oh my gosh, like my mood is so much better and I'm sleeping and that little ache and pain is gone. And I'm like, you just don't realize what you've become accustomed to in your life that you tolerate, and then once it's gone, you're like, oh my gosh, like I've been suffering.
The thing, like, that's a good example, and I've mentioned this, but I'll say it again since we're talking about it. I didn't think I had a need for it myself, but I'm like, well, I'm going to join this thing. I'm going to try it out, see if I can make something of this, I like what it is, but I got to buy some, so I'm going to try it. My wife had already had that one bottle, so I started taking it daily. And I don't know if it was the very first day or not. It might have been. She says her sleep thing, instantly that night, she was good. I don't remember for myself because I wasn't paying attention. I didn't think I had any, like you said, I didn't notice I had any issues. Well, I noticed I wake up too before my alarm clock goes off. I got to go pee. I've got full bladder, and I'm like, oh, I got to go. And then I lay down and like, oh, well, my alarm clock's going to go off in, 45 minutes or a half hour. I don't want to even try to go back to sleep because if I get close to sleep and then it goes off, you're like devastated. Like, oh. Yeah. So I just sit there rolling around, So I start taking this stuff, and when I've slept all night long, and then I wake up when the alarm clock goes off. And I'm not like, oh my God, I got to pee. It's just like, oh, I got to pee, but it's weird. It's like, I don't even know how to explain it because it's like, well, where did the pee go? Like, but it feels like it's less. And like, I know how long I stand there in front of the toilet. I'm like, well, this is, it's just weird, but in a positive way. I'm like, holy crap. I didn't realize that was an issue, but now it's not there anymore. I sleep all night long. And, I used to come home. I'd be a little bit tired sometimes. I'm like, oh, well, take a little snooze in the couch. And now I will say the first time I took it that day, like, well, I felt, like I feel good. I feel energized, and it's been steady. I feel good. So yeah, I've got positive results. My wife has. Everybody I talk to has. I have not had one person email me yet. Oh, this is man, I've been using it, whatever version of flavor or whatever, and it wasn't, didn't do anything for. No, I've not heard that at all. So
yeah, we have a money back guarantee, but I haven't had one single return, me personally, from all like hundreds of people, not one return. Because they love it, or if they have issues where they don't think it's working, we just have to figure out their dosing. And then once they figure out their sweet spot and what works for them, they're good. So it's like, I haven't had one person that's just like, nope, it's not working. I want my money back. It's crazy.
Incredible. All right. Well, I thank you guys for coming on. This is really cool. I love the underdog story. For me personally, it's what I'm about, YouTube and everything else, and just seeing the damn system for what it is, and the rich getting richer, and the pharmaceutical industry, and they've got all these rules on us, and it's hard to make it. If people live paycheck to paycheck. I do all these videos. I'm looking, okay, there's a study that was just done. The average person doesn't have $500 in their account. And some certain one out of whatever few. And then it's like, okay, well, how many have 1,000 in their account? It's even less. Like $1,000. That's you don't even have that in your. I'm talking adults, not some kid out of high school or something. And it's like this is what we live in. We got house payments, we got car payments, we got credit card, we got all this freaking debt. We got a government that spends out of control, and it's like, how do we win? How do we actually climb out of this? And to hear your story, I love it. It's just average people. You're on food stamps before. You had a foreclosure you dealt with. I can relate. It's just, I love it.
It's faith over fear, man. Faith over fear.
Yeah, I wish you guys the best of luck. I hope you're massively successful because this is freaking awesome.
Well, I appreciate you having us on. Thank you so much for letting us share.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to move this. Let me switch my screen, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Take care.
All right. Take care. Bye. Yeah. So it's like the top team, I guess, at this company at the moment. But they're like, oh, they're living in Orlando. I was like, oh, that's cool. Well, another Floridian. And I was talking with Donnell, like the same one we were talking about earlier. And I'm like, yeah. Maybe I could have them on the show, just chat a little bit, tell the story. Because she kind of told me a little bit about their background. I'm like, man, talk about an underdog comeback story. It'd be different if, hey, you guys want to join an MLM that we sell, male enhancement, enlarging devices. You kidding me? Like, I wouldn't even, I'd be like, no, get that out of my face. Like, this is stupid. But again, the health benefits, the studies I'm seeing, like this is going to be so huge. Again, I feel like I'm talking crypto again. And in the beginning of crypto, everyone's like, oh, Joe, man, go back to the news, this crypto stuff. And then later in 2017, little email comes in from somebody, another one, different one. Man, Joe, I know I told you to, kind of leave that stuff alone. I'm glad you persisted, man. I bit the bullet, I jumped in. And they still got in enough to where today they're still up, right? They got in early enough. Some of them, it took a little longer towards the end of the year. Some of those people, you may have to wait a little while longer before the market turns around. Like, I feel like it's the same thing again. And I feel like I'm laser beam focused. I can see this from a mile away. This is Enterprise Joe. Cliff High was telling me this is Enterprise Joe stuff happening before my eyes. I just know it. I can feel it in my bones, along with the other little stuff I'm doing with its YouTube, Patreon, all that. Talking about an industry that's going to be massive. You are going to help people with health issues. Think of someone that has a health issue that let's say, again, I can't say this for sure. I'm going to be politically correct. But let's say they took some stuff and they had a health issue that it totally helped with. You think that person's going to keep it quiet? I've been taking these damn pharmaceuticals with 4 side effects and this thing, and I got to take another one to get rid of those side effects, which has 3 more side effects. My doctor tells me this. Oh, I went to the doctor the other day. My diabetes is down. This is up. And I've heard people telling me this. You don't think those people are going to talk to other people, friends, family, strangers even, at the doctor's office? Oh, yeah, I'm here. My stuff's down. This number's down. That number. Oh, well, really? What are you doing? Oh, I've been taking the CBD stuff. Here, I've got some in my bag. You know, like I could just see, like, I can almost see the future of this stuff going crazy. So I've been telling people about it. And I'll say it. Look, you don't want to sign up with old Snippy and HempWorks. That's fine. But do yourself a favor and look into CBD oil, one way or the other. And yeah, you should pay attention to how it's manufactured. Is it organic? What methods are they using? They're using the whole plant. They're using pieces. What are they doing? Do your research. I'm not saying you have to follow me off over here. You know, this needs to be something that people get used to hearing about, start doing their own research. And there's more health benefits. And I don't know of any negative side effects from this stuff at all. You know, side effects include you'll sleep all night. Oh, side effects include you don't have to wake up 4 times during the night and take a pee. Maybe you only wake up twice or once. You know, my case, I don't wake up at all anymore. I would wake up usually 1 time before my alarm clock's going off, and I'm tired. I don't want to get up, and I feel my bladder more and more. All right, you little bastard, get up and go pee. And I'd go pee. I would, and then I'd lay back down and wait for the alarm clock. You know, like now, alarm clock goes off, I'm waking up. And I feel, I don't know, you've heard my story, but like she said, at the very least, get some in your possession. Again, whether it's through us or not, I don't care. Sure, it'd be nice, but it's not, you know, I'm not demanding, you got to go through me. Doesn't matter. Try some out. See what it does for you. And then think, if what it does for you, you're probably going to want to tell people, oh, guess what? Now there's a business opportunity. If you want to sell stuff like that through HempWorks. And again, if you would, JSnip's description box below, I do have my little links there. If you're interested, I would appreciate you followed mine, but if not, it's okay. I love you guys anyways. I'm going to do my videos like I do anyways, periodically. We are definitely talking about CBD because the movement is coming. The big pump wave has not even hit yet, but it's coming. And again, I can see an opportunity, not just for myself. Hey, everybody, it's early. Like crypto, it's early. Take a shot. Now, that doesn't mean you get in this to try to sell it and get, do the MLM side even, that you just stand around. Oh, it's, people are just going to come to me. You got to work. You see how hard those people work that I just had on? As they said, failure after failure after failure. Boom, finally we hit something. We think we're doing good. Failure again. Oh my God, we lost it. Let's do it again. Oh, there it goes again. They kept pushing, kept going. It's not easy to just, it's not going to come easy. You got to work for it. And that's the bottom line. But if you can work for it and you start, whether you build a team or not or whatever, you start doing this, I think there's going to be a lot of sort. Like I said in one of my first videos about this, I said, I got a sneaky suspicion there's some people that signed up with me that I'm going to be doing a video with in the coming months. Hey, remember back in end of October, you guys signed up? Yeah. How you doing these days? And I'm going to let them tell their own story. I know it's going to happen. And I look forward to that day. But if you're not willing to try and you're not really going to do anything, I don't want to, then this is not for you to do. You got to want it. You got to be hungry. Those who are hungry, those are the ones that will climb that mountain. And the potential, again, I've seen the compensation plan. It's pretty ridiculous, to say in a good way. Ridiculous. Redonkulous, you might say. And I'm like, how? Yeah. Every question's answered. Like, yeah, it makes sense. I've never seen anything like this either. Which is why Donnell was like, I'm leaving that company the last minute, get my final paycheck, and I'm running over to HempWorks. And she told me 2 months ago, honestly, I forgot because I think I told her then, when you get closer, let me know. And then she hears me doing a video about this thing my wife's going to be doing. It's the same thing. She's like, Joe, no, that was the thing I was telling you about. Come with me. I'm like, oh, shoot. Okay. Sorry about that. So that's how that happened. But anyways, just love the underdog story. Love seeing the small guy win. They don't even need a mortgage. They're buying a house with cash. BYOB. Be your own bank. Cryptos may make that happen with us, and this CBD stuff might also. Could you imagine? Crypto's doing fantastic. We start dabbling in the CBD stuff. It starts doing really well too. Now there's two sources of income. You know, awesome cryptos, awesome CBD, and you're sitting back saying, "Oh my God, me maybe I don't know. I don't know about everybody. I can speak for myself for sure." Saying, "Wow, I pushed and pushed and pushed and did this and built, Enterprise Joe basically." But not, you don't have to be at, so to speak, whatever, Enterprise Joe. I don't think it's going to take much to succeed in this, but you got to stay at it. You're going to have to get people trying the product. You may be someone that says, wow, I don't really have anyone signed up under me, but everybody I talk to becomes a customer, which is still giving you commissions because you're selling it. They even have a section in the back end where you can buy bulk, thousands of dollars worth, by the way, bulk, but you get a super big discount. Therefore, you can resell the bottles, to people, making yourself more profit. So there's more than one way to work with this thing. I'm not the MLM guy. I've never really done this before. I mentioned I did it, the one thing very briefly with Donnell, the same one they were talking about, same company. And I quit, within 2 months. I was done. And like I said, I made a mistake because she said just one, there's a few people under me, but there was one person that really took it and ran. And it would have been a very good side income for me that I blew because I jumped out. So anyways, I'm not going to be out here pumping CBD constantly. I got my new stuff, crypto, we're going to be going there, but you can be rest assured periodically, I'm going to come out here and talk about it one way or the other, whether people want to hear about it or not. Just like the cryptos, they want to hear about it, and then later on, everyone's making money, now they want to hear about it. Hundreds of people per day signing up under my YouTube, subscribing. Hundreds. I used to get 30. Then 50 was the kind of average. That's where it's about now, I think, between 30 and 50. It's going to be the same thing. So if it's early, the pump phase hasn't even happened yet. Like I'm just saying, even if you came to me and said, Joe, I found another one that's even better than that one, another program, I'm going to join that one. You know what? I wish you the best of luck. Go for it. Run with it. Because it's the same market, same industry, right? Great. You're probably going to do just as well. Have fun. I appreciate it. Get in and do something. So I look forward to some of the emails coming in of this specific product. I've asked some people in the email too, hey, you're going to try it for that. You're going to try it for that. Good. Keep me up to date. Now there's one lady that's already emailed me. I don't know if it's this specific product, but it's CBD. And I said, man, that's a fantastic story you have right now. Can we do a Skype? And she's like, oh, I don't know if I do that. She's like, but instinct is telling me I probably should. It's just a good story about CBD. I said, great. Let's pick a time and let's do it. So I'll be getting with her. It's not this particular product by Hempwork. It's another CBD oil, but the bottom line is it's CBD oil, and that's what we're selling. Not only are we selling it, it's the best one as far as I'm concerned that's out there, quality wise for sure. So maybe look forward to that in the future, but that's it for now. Take care.